What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot, where you already know it's real talk, sports talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and let's talk some football. But before we do that, I just want to wish everybody watching a happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you enjoy this day with your friends and family. Get that quality time in. Eat a lot. Make sure you kick back, watch the games, relax. And if you're into some adult beverages, have a couple of those too, because I know I will be doing that later on. And definitely don't forget to express your gratitude to whatever it is or whoever it is that you are thankful for, because we can't take those things for granted. I know I'm thankful personally for family, friends, and continued health. But more importantly, I'm thankful for all of you guys who watch and continue to watch and support me. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Keep coming back. You know how we do here at the Hangout Spot. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to my boys at OW Sports on Facebook. They host a weekly podcast every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And they were gracious enough to have me come on yesterday as a guest speaker to give my takes on the Jets and to talk about tomorrow's Black Friday game. So Vince and Stevie D, I want to personally thank you for allowing me that platform. I had a blast. It was great. If you guys haven't tuned into their podcast, do yourselves a favor and tune in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. They talk about all type of NFL stories. They give their takes on the Bills and the Jets. It's a great time. Two real guys. I love their show. Definitely tune in and show some support on their Facebook page, OW Sports. And if you want to actually see a shared copy of yesterday's podcast, get on their Facebook page. Get on their Facebook page and check it out. And if you're friends on my Facebook page, look me up, John Carroll. I actually posted a shared link copy of that video as well. So check that out. But anyhow, let's get into some football talk. And full docket of games today, which have already started. So I want to apologize that I did not get a chance to do my pick segment and my pick video this week. I was actually on the podcast yesterday. So what we'll do is we will skip the pick segment for this week, and we will just pick off next week where we left off last week. And we'll start from there. I don't want to start picking games because the games are already started, if you see it in my background. But three good games. You got the Packers and the Lions that are on right now. I saw that the Lions were an 8.5-point favorite. This is a division game. I thought I would have predicted going in that it was going to be a close game because of that. But again, I won't give my prediction since the game already started. But the Cowboys and Commanders playing at Dallas. The Cowboys are at 7-3. Commanders are at 4-7. Dallas is coming in at a 3.5-point favorite. Another division game that I don't see the Cowboys covering. I think they'll win, but I think the Commanders are going to keep it close, believe it or not. And then our last game, our primetime game, are the 7-3 49ers who travel to Seattle to play the 6-4 Seahawks. Looks like the 49ers are a 7-point favorite here, but it's a tall task for any team to go into Seattle with the six-man, with that crowd, and blow them out of the waters by a touchdown or more than that. So I'm going to say that the Seahawks actually cover this game. Actually, I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going to say the Seattle Seahawks win this game for some reason. Don't know why, but they're a good team. They're a good team. They're a well-coached team. They're solid all around. They're playing at home on national TV. They don't get a lot of national TV coverage. I'm going to think they take advantage of that and they win this game at home. Which brings me to tomorrow, our Black Friday game, our first ever Black Friday game, which is why I am wearing my black jersey. You have the first place 7-3 Miami Dolphins traveling to MetLife Stadium to face the 4-6 New York Jets at 3 p.m. on national TV. And what more can I say except change was finally made? I think that's the biggest story going into this game. Our inept and XFL caliber offense is finally getting a much needed spark. Saleh announced earlier this week that Tim Boyle will be the starter for this game. So, honestly, I don't know what to expect. I mean, you got people asking me, what do you expect? What do you expect to see? And honestly, I tell them the same thing that I'm saying right now. I don't know. Because Jet fans don't truly know what to expect from Tim Boyle. I mean, we just haven't seen enough of him. But what I will tell you, and one thing that I do know, is that this offense was unable to do anything. They weren't able to move the chains. They weren't able to score touchdowns. So they did need this change to happen. But in my opinion, I think it's a little bit too late. At 4-6, I mean, our playoff hopes are damn near almost shot. I think that this move should have probably happened a couple games ago. Might have done a better job. If Tim Boyle is competent, it might have gave us a better opportunity to try to win the last couple of games that we lost. But here we are. We're 4-6. Changes made. Personally, I'm excited about it because I'm tired of what we've been seeing, the last few weeks. It's been excruciating. And if we're tired of it, imagine the team. The team just looked absolutely demoralized. They looked like they actually quit in the second half last week against the Bills. And they were arguing with each other on the sidelines. I mean, C.J. Mosley, who is normally a reserved and quiet guy, is arguing with Bills fans. Garrett Wilson has been playing, terrible, fumbling the football the last few weeks. You got to think that, the pressure's been mounting there. So, I mean, when you play the way the Jets have played on offense, it has a trickle effect, and it has the tendency to just deflate a football team. And I think that's what happened last week, or what has been happening the last few weeks, and it just culminated in what we saw last week in the second half, because I truly do believe that the defense just gave up. I think they had enough. So I think this is going to be a good move. I think it's going to provide a much needed spark. I mean, you saw that last week with the Bills. I mean, they fire their offensive coordinator. Joe Brady gets promoted, and then the Bills go out there and they play a well coached, a simplified game on offense. They were controlled. They ran the football. They hit their intermediate plays. They hit home runs when they could. And this was against a top defense. This is a top defense that they did it against. So kudos to them. And it's no surprise when you make those type of changes. It has the tendency to provide a spark. And that's why I've been calling for this for weeks. But again, Tim Boyle is a guy that, in my opinion, has an advantage over Zach because he has that institutional knowledge, right? He's been in the league for 5 seasons. He's been a backup. So you have to think at this point in his career, the mental part of the game, he more than likely has down pat. He's actually been a backup to Aaron Rodgers a couple of years. He knows the system. From everything that I hear about him, he's a West Coast system type of guy. So he's going to drop back 3 steps. He's going to release the football quick. And that's what we need. We need somebody that's going to get rid of the football, especially with our offensive line. Who knows who's going to play where tomorrow? I mean, the whole entire season, it's been decimated by injuries. It's been makeshift. Guys are moving in and out of the lineup. So the only way for us to have any chance on offense, and this is what I've been saying for weeks, and I've been begging for Zach to do, is to get rid of the ball quick. 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. I mean, you got to get rid of the ball very fast. And for everything that I've heard about Tim Boyle, he does that. And he did express that was a top priority for him in one of his press conferences this week. So I'm excited about that. I really am. If there's one play that actually got me pumped up about Tim Boyle starting this game at quarterback, and it was that third down play, the 3rd and 9, I believe, where the Bills were obviously showing blitz, and Tim Boyle picked up on the blitz. He rolled the coverage over, and as soon as the ball was hiked, they sent a bunch of guys up the middle. He knew he was going to get drilled. He did get drilled, but he stood in the pocket, and he saw the hot route in the slot, and he hit Garrett Wilson for what was almost a first down. But that's a play right there that I know that Zach Wilson doesn't make. He takes that sack. So that one play gives me hope that things are going to be different tomorrow against the Dolphins. And if you're a Jet fan, honestly, you got to think, can it get any worse than what we've been seeing? The nonsense that we've been seeing? So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with a bunch of stats. I mean, we all kind of know where the Jets stand statistically, both defensively and offensively. They are either last or worse to last in almost every offensive category, especially third down efficiency, which they're probably the worst of any team in the last 50 years. The defense, again, off night, bad day at the office last week. You kind of think that was going to happen sooner or later, but for the most part, they have been one of the best defenses in the NFL. So I'd expect them to come out tomorrow and play like the defense that has been playing against some of these top echelon teams. But I have my 5 keys to victory. I think that if the Jets execute, on these 5, it gives them a good chance to win. And it all starts out with coming out energized. That's my first key to victory. They have to come out energized. And I think they will. Like I said, I mean, what they've been seeing the last few weeks has a tendency to just demoralize teams. And I think that putting Boyle at quarterback is going to reignite a spark that we might not have seen especially on the offensive side of the football, in weeks. So they got to come out energized. And not only the players have to come out energized, but the fan base has to come out. I mean, this is a Black Friday game. I think many people had this game circled on their calendar as a potential game to go to, so they can get there, they can tailgate, and they can witness basically history, the first ever Black Friday game. So they got to come out energized. And I think they will. I think for the most part, like I said, I mean, the fan base have been clamoring for weeks. They wanted Zach out of there. They finally got their wish. I think you're going to see a fan base that is going to be electric. And we're going to need that. We're going to need that. Which brings me to my key to victory number 2. You got to feed the beast. Feed Breece Hall. It's no surprise that when the ball's is in his hands, good things happen. In fact, we scored our first touchdown in probably about 40 some odd possessions last week. And guess who scored it for us? It was Breece Hall. Got to get him the ball early. We got to try to see if we can get an early lead so that we can put the pressure on Miami a bit and kind of let our defense, just go after him, let them cook. And it might give Tim Boyle some confidence as well that he doesn't have to play come from behind football and score 2 touchdowns because we're down by 14 points. So you got to feed Breece. You got to do what you can to give him the ball. And it can't just be these predictable running plays up the middle. Maybe some pitches, some sweeps. That way it gives him a head start. He can survey some openings, possibly hit a home run that way. It also gives our offensive line some momentum so that they can shift and get some downhill momentum to block. Those are things that you have to try to do a little bit differently that the offense has been kind of stagnant on, right? Also try to get him involved in the short passing game. That never hurts either. Like I said, if you can get some matchup, if you get some plays out there that'll get him out there, maybe on a linebacker so that we can take advantage of some matchups, I think that'll be a good thing. But you got to get him the ball because good things happen when you do. My key to victory number 3 is the third down factor, or actually a 3-and-3 factor is what I call it, right? So we all say, like I just said earlier, people are saying that Tim Boyle is the, that guy that will, drop back, take those 3 steps and release. He has to do that tomorrow, and we have to convert on third downs. The only way that we're going to be able to get into the red zone and potentially give ourselves a chance to score some touchdowns is by moving the chains and getting in there. We cannot continue to be putrid on third downs. Last week, we didn't have a third down. We didn't convert a third down. We were 0 for 11. Our only third downs were converted by penalties. That has to stop. I mean, this is an offensively driven league. It's a pass-happy league. There should be no NFL team that ever ends a game 0 for 11 on third down. We're like 20-something% in third down efficiency or third down conversion percentage. That has to change. So we have to be able to get some third downs. And Tim Boyle, 3-step drops, release. I think that's vital, the 3-and-3 factor, which takes me to my key to victory number 4, which is minimize those big plays. Miami is a high-flying offense. They are first in the league in points scored, in yardage. I mean, they can put points on the board mainly because Tyreek Hill, right? Tua does a great job in getting Tyreek Hill the ball. And just like Breece, when he has the ball in his hands, good things tend to happen. The guy is just, he's a track star. He should be on the Olympic track team. He's a cheetah. So you got to minimize those big plays. The only way that we're going to have a chance to keep up with Miami is we got to make this game ugly. We got to bring them in to play our type of game, which is a low-scoring, ugly type of game. We can't get into playing their type of game. We just don't have the firepower to be able to keep up with them. And you got to think the defense, like I said, they're going to have a comeback game this week. Usually they play very, very well against some of the better teams and the better quarterbacks. I expect them to be able to do that tomorrow as well. But again, they can be down in the doldrums for a few series and then get the ball to Tyreek Hill and then boom, home run, 7 points. So you got to minimize those big plays if we're going to have a chance to win, which takes me to my 5th and final key to victory, which is they got to stay disciplined. No penalties. Last week we were actually a lot better. We only had five penalties for 35 yards, but we had a big one on defense by Sauce Gardner, and that was basically pure frustration. I mean, you can see that. It had been mounting probably for weeks where he picks up Stephon Diggs on a second down and basically suplexes him. I get it, but you can't have those penalties. Had he had just tackled him, it would have been a 3rd down and 5 with a chance for us to get off the field. Instead, it gave the Bills a fresh set of downs and an extra 15 yards. And like I've said on numerous occasions, we're not that team that's going to be able to recover if we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. We have to maintain our discipline, especially on offense. I mean, if we do get a first down or a big play or a chunk play that gives our offense some momentum, that gives Tim Boyle some momentum, we cannot have any stupid pre-snap penalties. Salah has to get on their ass. There's no sugarcoating it. If there is a player that commits one of those pre-snap penalties that negates either a big play, a touchdown, first down, whatever it is that kills our drive, he's got to pull them and get on their ass. There is no sugarcoating. We cannot afford to have penalties, especially against a team like the Dolphins who are explosive. And those are my 5 keys to victory for tomorrow's first ever Black Friday game between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. So what do I think happens tomorrow? What is my prediction? Well, I've been going with my gut the last few weeks, and I've been picking the Jets to lose because I just didn't have any type of confidence at all that they were going to be able to flip the switch overnight and fix the offense until I see some semblance of an NFL caliber offense. I was very, very hesitant to pick the Jets, and I didn't, and I was right in both weeks. But this week, my gut tells me that the Jets have an opportunity to win this game. Call me crazy or call me insane, but I think that the Tim Boyle spark, that infusion of just change, I think the fan base is going to be buzzing. I think the players are going to come out chomping at the bit, especially at what happened last week and what has been happening in the last few weeks. I think that if we could get any type of momentum and score early, I think the Jets win this game. And I think we give Tua fits. I think we control Tyreek Hill, and the Jets are going to win this game. Right now, Miami is coming into this game as a 9.5-point favorite. From what I heard on TV somewhere, I think the line just went up a bit. They might be at 10 points. I'm not sure. But either way, 9.5, 10, 10.5 points for a division game, a game that usually the Jets will play tough. If we don't beat them, it's usually a close game. But I think, again, first ever Black Friday game at home, I think the Jets win this game. And I'm picking the Jets to win this game. I don't know what score. I'm not going to predict the score. But I think that Tim Boyle will do enough to recharge this offense and get some points on the board. And I think the defense is going to look like the normal defense that went out there against some of these top echelon teams and quarterbacks. So I think the Jets are going to win this game, man. I'm excited about it. I hope I'm right. I'm actually picking with my gut and my heart this week. So we'll see what happens. But anyhow, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I love hearing everybody's feedback. Do you think I'm right? Do you think that that the Jets have a chance to win? Do you think that Tim Boyle will obviously provide that much needed spark? Or do you think that we're going to see the same putrid offense that we've been seeing for weeks? I really love to hear everybody's comments. But anyhow, listen, if you enjoyed this video, come back, tune in. And if you're new to watching, make sure you subscribe so you could come back and you can hang out with your boy more often. You know how we do it here at the Hangout Spot. I love doing these videos for you guys. So until then, again, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your turkey. Enjoy this slate of games. And enjoy tomorrow's Black Friday game. Hopefully I'm right and the Jets win. But until then, this is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot. And I will talk to everybody soon.